Hello. Why do people on Earth hate to think about the money we spend every day? It's a powerful part of our lives, and it can be a problem, but it's also something we use every day. And it's part of our happy times too. We can't stop money from flowing in and out of our pockets. But if we understand the money that we use, before you get a job and before you live in another country, I want you to think about the money you spend in your everyday lives. That money is called living expenses. First of all, look at these words that are used when you use money every day, whether you're using a bank or paying a bill. What exactly are living expenses? Living expenses are the amounts of money that everybody pays for things like food, water, or house rent. We all pay for services like trains, internet, or university classes. And we also pay money like taxes to help society. Before we start our talk, why don't you study these English words? Living expenses, the money that we spend in our everyday lives. Today, I want to talk about how we pay those bills. Do you pay all your bills in cash? Or do you use different methods for different types of bills? Let's ask a few people about their experiences. The biggest bills are usually the regular expenses. So we'll discuss those first. First, we'll talk about fixed expenses. Bills like rent for your apartment, which is the same amount of money every time. And next, we'll discuss bills like electricity bills, which usually change every month. Our third topic is personal spending. This is what we choose to spend on things like food, clothes, or even going to the dentist. I bet this is the type of spending that you think about most. And finally, we'll talk about one-time expenses. This is the money that we spend occasionally on things like gifts or buying a new fridge. First of all, let's hear about fixed expenses. Fixed expenses, like the rent for your apartment or your phone or internet bill, are often the same every month. Some tax bills, like national health insurance premiums, are often the same every time too. Why is that important? Well, these bills are often big. We don't want to forget to pay the rent or the electricity bill. I asked 3 people how they pay their regular fixed expenses. For example, phone, internet, rent, school fees, and insurance premiums. One student told me that her parents pay most of her living expenses, but she pays her own phone bill. And she says it's easy to pay it in cash at the convenience store. But sometimes she forgets to pay, so she's thinking about using a different method. Another student said that he pays his rent by direct debit. Direct debit means that the bank takes money automatically from his bank account to pay the rent. The good thing is that his rent payments are all recorded in his bank statement,
so he can easily check the payments. Finally, a student's mother said that she pays university fees once a semester. The fees are too expensive to pay in cash, so she sends the money from her bank account. This is called a bank transfer. If you live by yourself, rent is one of the biggest expenses. Because these bills are usually the same every time, it's easy to forget how much they cost. But 80,000 yen per month is 960,000 yen per year.
Bills for regular expenses are often big, so I like to pay them through my bank. Understanding my bank's services helped me to understand money in business too.
Bills, bills, bills. Regular expenses of this type usually come every month. They're not fixed. They change every month depending on how much gas you used, how much water you used, how much credit card shopping you did, and so on. Let's see how people like to pay this kind of bill. My sister says she pays for food at the convenience store or restaurants in cash, but she uses one credit card or another credit card at the supermarket. Sometimes she spends too much because she can't remember how much money she used on each credit card. That's scary. Her best friend buys her train pass with a credit card so that she can earn points. Her credit card includes a prepaid function, so she can change her points into cash, and she can also use the credit card to top up her prepaid card. She tries not to use her credit card for one-time expenses because she's trying to save money. Our mother told me that our family utility bills are all paid by direct debit from our main bank because the bank doesn't charge ATM fees for main bank customers. Yes! Do you actually know how much you usually spend on things like electricity? It's hard to remember unless you use a budgeting app. I try to use direct debit or my bank's debit card for all my regular expenses.
Wow, I think that's important because we need to know how much we usually spend before we can plan our spending for the future.
Personal spending. This is the money that we use on all kinds of different things in our lives. On things like clothes, entertainment, and even medicine. Usually, we can choose how much money we want to spend on personal things. For example, some people go to the dentist twice a year, and some people don't go even once a year. When I asked my friends, they said they often don't plan their personal spending. Because personal spending isn't planned, people often use credit cards or cash, but a debit card may be better. With a debit card, you can only spend the money that's in your bank account right now. I feel a lot safer using my debit card for this kind of spending. My classmates said that they use cash when they buy snacks or eat out with friends, but they sometimes use credit cards to buy games or gifts. At the beginning of the year, I eat out a lot with my friends. And I also have to buy all my textbooks. I try to save some money in the bank before the university year begins so that I can use my debit card for those expenses. There's never enough money to buy everything that we want, right? Well, entertainment is a great way to build friendships, but I also try to think of ways to spend time with my friends without spending a lot of money. As for spending that really is just for me, like books, I make sure that I don't take my credit card to the bookshop. No more than 5,000 yen per month on books. That's my rule.
So, if you know your limits, it's okay to spend some money on things that we want but don't need? Sounds good.
One-time expenses. These are the expenses that we all forget about. The new computer, the suit for a job interview, the wedding gift for your best friend, the sudden trip to hospital. All these things sound expensive, but they're also hard to plan for. How do people pay for these one-time expenses? Well, my sister's phone broke the other day. She says she keeps some money in her bank just for repairing or replacing expensive things, like her phone, her glasses, or her bicycle. She withdrew some money from her bank account and paid for the repairs in cash. Luckily, she had enough money. My uncle broke his leg recently and he had to go to the hospital. He couldn't go to the bank, so he paid the hospital bill with his credit card. This is when a credit card can be really, really useful. One day, I asked my parents how much their wedding cost. My mother said that she saved some money, but she also got a small loan from the bank. I didn't know. I'm going to ask my friends how much they think we should spend on weddings. Nobody plans to break their leg, but we all know that daily life isn't just sunshine one day. We know that we might have to use a lot of money suddenly.
I don't know the best way to save money, but you should talk to your bank about saving and insurance for sudden expenses. Your friends and family probably have some good ideas too. After all, these things happen to everybody. We've looked at the ways people spend money on the things we need every day in life, like regular expenses for rent and food, and for other important things like transportation and communications. Our speakers told us that many people use bank transfers and direct debits to help them pay for regular expenses. Bank statements help us check payments. When I spend too much on personal spending like books or games, I try to spend some of my money on making other people happy, not just myself. We spend money on things that are important to us, and I want to show my friends and family that they are important to me. As we said earlier, money flows through our lives like a river. I think that money and business are both ways to connect with more people in adult society. So understanding money is part of understanding society. Money comes and money goes. It's part of life, part of the happy things as well as the sad things. So please don't be afraid to think about it and talk about it. Thank you for your time, and I wish you all health, wealth, and happiness for the future.